Hello everybody, Kayla here. So this morning I was trying to teach my regular life class and it just wouldn't work. My internet wasn't working, my cell phone service wasn't working, it just kept cutting out and I got really frustrated. So instead I'm just going to film this class and post it. And so if you're just following me on YouTube, you get a little bonus class today. And then if you're on Facebook, I'm really sorry that it was not working, and hopefully you find time in your day to be able to do this kind of later than you normally would. I am going to be listening to music while we practice today, so if you want to listen to the same thing that I'm listening to, if you're on my Spotify page, it is 3 March 2020 is the class that I'm going to listen to. And we're just going to be doing a full body flow. You're going to get a little bit sweaty. Hopefully your heart rate will raise up a little bit, and we're going to be focusing on the core, hips, booty, inner thighs, just trying to get that deep core line really fired up so everything is activated and we can try to maybe mitigate some pain that people tend to have around the hips or sciatic or all of that kind of area. So just starting out, find yourself nice and comfortable in an easy seat. If you have a block or a pillow or something that you can hold between your thighs later, just make sure it's somewhere close by. Take your hands onto your knees, roll your shoulders back, close your eyes, and we're just going to start with a couple of long breaths. So inhaling really deeply in through the nose or the mouth. Exhale everything out. And take that again. So inhaling in deep. Exhaling everything out. And then we'll start to slow the breath. If you're listening to music too, you can go ahead and start it. And we'll see if it's going to play. All right. So long, deep inhales and exhales. In through the nose. Exhaling everything out. Just starting to try to kind of bring a little bit of a wave through the body. So as you're inhaling, you're kind of pressing into the floor and lengthening up, imagining that that energy of your inhale is kind of rebounding your body off the floor. Try to really bring the core into this, pulling everything in, lengthening up as much as you can. And we're just going to inhale the arms up over the head. Get really nice and tall. Take the palms together, lower them down to your heart center. Take a moment here, just reminding yourself the intention that we've been working on recently, and that is I am my own authority. So I'll be leading you through this practice, but remembering that you can modify and change anything you would like, because you are the authority of your body, of your practice, of your breath. And then when you're ready, we're just going to start to move a little bit. So I'm just going to turn my music up a little bit more. All right, so inhaling, lengthening up, reach really tall, let your shoulders relax. When you're ready, take that left hand over, reach your right hand, get really long through the side of the body. So maybe lengthen up and sink down. Try to keep your right hip on the floor. When you're ready for it, we're going to open the chest, reaching back, start to pull your belly in, finding a slight twist. And then as you exhale, take that hand down, reach over towards the left, get really tall, and see if you can sink down a little further. When you're ready, pressing back into your left hand, open yourself again, bend in the left elbow, and spring yourself up, lengthening really tall. As you exhale, we'll come to the other side. So right hand down, left arm's going to reach, try to get really long. See if you can sink down, left hip stay on the floor. When it feels good, press into your right hand, start to bring that twist into it. You should feel this in your obliques a little bit. You're really pulling that belly in. On your exhale, bring yourself back down, lengthen up. See if you can twist and sink down over that right leg. When it feels good, we're gonna open that left arm back up, reaching really tall, and then bend into that right arm and spring yourself back up, lengthen up. As you exhale, we'll just take a full twist over to the left, bring your right hand back behind you. That's your left hand, bring your left hand back behind you. Relax your shoulders back, pull in through your belly, see if you can lean. And then all the way back through center and to the other side. Bring yourself back up, lengthen really tall. Exhale your hands down behind you. Just open your chest up, maybe lifting your chin. If it feels good, we're gonna bring those shoulders down and forward, hunching, and then roll them back and open. 2 more times like this. Last one here. And then coming back to center, we're just gonna make our way over to all fours, facing the right side of the mat. Spread your hands wide. Start by just kind of swaying the hips side to side. And then we'll start to move through cat and cow. So when you're ready, we're gonna bend the elbows a little bit as you're moving through that transition. So bending a little, and then straighten to reach your chest forward. Bend a little, reach the back. So it can be a big bend that's really noticeable, or just slightly bending so that you can really get that space in your body. When it feels good, pull yourself back through center. Really plant those hands down. You're spreading the fingers wide, belly's tucked in. We're gonna reach the left leg back. So reaching it back, and then we're gonna tuck the knee towards the elbow. So you'll bend just a little, tuck it in, straighten the arms out, try to create some space, and then reach it back. Take the foot behind you, pull in through your core so your back is safe. Open up, see if you can open the chest towards the ceiling. And then we'll come back down and bring that knee back in. All the way out, opening. Close it back down. Pull the knee in. So as you're transitioning, the elbows are bending. It gives you the ability to kind of press the floor away and really create that space. Last time here. Bring it back to center, swaying side to side. And then we're gonna find strength through the core and we'll move to the other side. So when you're ready, right leg's gonna lift. And we'll do the same thing. So bending a little, press the floor away as you bring your knee towards your elbow. Lengthen back out, take the foot down, open yourself. And then come back down. Try to really squeeze that belly in. Just kind of focusing on this movement. We're going to do it later from plank. We're going to do it from downward facing. Last time. Close everything back down. Sway through the hips. And then we're going to go from here to downward facing dog. So every time you're kind of moving between postures, if your hands are on the floor, we're going to bend the elbows a little. So bend them back towards the knees. And then you'll press everything, kind of springing yourself up. So you're using that kind of force against the floor. We'll just sway in this down dog a few times. And then when you're ready, start to walk your hands back towards your feet. Finding a forward fold with the knees bent so the belly and thighs are friends. We're going to inhale to come halfway up, roll your shoulders. Exhale to fall down. As you roll up, keep the knees bent slightly so you can really press into the floor as you lengthen, and then lengthen the legs out. Get as tall as you can, and we'll exhale to come back down. Keeping the knees bent slightly. Same thing again, so lengthen halfway up. Exhale down, press into the knees, come all the way up, exhaling down. down. We're gonna just do that one more time. So you're coming halfway up. Lengthen your spine, try to send your sitting bones wide. Sink back down, keep those knees bent as you wave your spine up and then lengthen the legs long, squeeze your glutes. And we're gonna move into sort of a sun salutation. So coming all the way back down, halfway up. Exhale, folding, walk out towards a downward facing dog. Bend your knees, bend your elbows a little bit, and we're gonna roll ourselves forward to plank. Sink down onto the knees, elbows pointing back, lower through chaturanga. Just lift the chest up. And then lower down, press through all fours. Tuck your toes, bend everything a little, and spring yourself into downward facing. Holding here. When you're ready for it, we're going to walk the hands back to the feet. Come halfway up, lengthening. Exhale to fold. And roll yourself up, lengthening. Exhale, fold all the way back down. Same thing again, so come halfway up. Exhale, fold, walk the hands all the way out. Find downward facing first, bend the knees, and roll yourself forward into plank. Onto the knees, lower through chaturanga. Lift the chest, lower back down. Find your way through all fours, and then to downward facing dog. Holding here. Spread those fingers really wide and press into all the fingertips. Making any movements that feel good here. When you're ready, we're going to walk the hands back to the feet. Keep the knees bent a little bit. Roll yourself up. Lengthen all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to add on. As you exhale, fold down. Walk your hands out, finding plank. So we're going to do that same thing we did before, but we're going to do it in plank. You can come to your knees if you need to. So you're going to bring that left knee in towards the chest. Take it back out behind and find sort of a side plank. And back to center. Try to bring that whole body movement into it. So as you're in the plank, bend the elbows a little, create that space. Squeeze your glutes. Last time. And then coming back to center, reach that left leg high. And exhale, take it down. Holding here in downward facing dog, we're going to move to the other side. So when you're ready, we'll roll ourselves forward to plank. You can bring yourself to the knees if you need to. Bend the elbows a little. Bring that knee in and press. And then send it back. Take the foot behind. Squeeze the glutes. Back to center. Two more times. So you can do this on your knees just like we did at the beginning of class. Try to keep that belly pulled in so your low back isn't taking the pressure. We'll come back to center. When you're ready, we're going to walk the hands back to the feet. Come halfway up, lengthening. Exhale, fold. Keep the knees nice and buoyant as you roll up, and then squeeze your glutes. Lengthen towards the ceiling. As you exhale, we're going to come to chair, so slide those hips back, hands to your heart. We'll inhale, lengthen up, squeeze. Slide them back. So you should be able to see probably your whole foot, at least your toes. Squeeze it up. Slide back. Try to really get active in those inner thighs. Hopefully you have heat building in your body. One more time here. Lengthen up, bend the knees slightly, come into a forward fold. Lengthening halfway up, reach the spine. Exhale, folding down. We're going to walk the hands out. Planting them down. Downward facing dog first, and then roll forward into a plank. Take a chaturanga on the knees if you need to. Reach the chest and find your way back to downward facing dog. Holding here, pedal the legs. When it feels good, take a moment, bend everything a little, put the weight into the right or the left leg. We're going to lift the right leg high. Bend your knee, pull your belly in, see if you can open the hips up, and see if you can send that left heel down. If it feels good, we're going to kick that right leg and then squeeze it back in. Kick it out, squeeze it in. You can get your whole body involved and bend in a little bit with everything, and then kick. Try to get a little higher each time. And then when it feels good, we're going to bring that knee up into the chest and then place it down. You're going to pivot that right foot back behind you, turn yourself to the side, find your way to gate pose. Woo. Take a deep inhale, lengthen up. As you exhale, try to squeeze your glutes as far forward as you can. We'll bring the left hand down and lengthen over that side. Come all the way back up. Take your hands to your heart. So we're going to turn this foot up if you need to, and we're going to sit back onto our right heel. So sink it back down. And we're going to use the glutes to squeeze ourselves back up. So squeeze and lower back down. One more time like this. And then sink it down. Hands are going to come forward. Just see if you can sink into a fold here. When it feels good, shift your way back up. Walk your hands towards the left. Pivot your right foot so you're finding a half split here. Adjust yourself as you need to. Point and flex your toe a few times. And then we're going to tuck our back toes so you can scoot the back knee in a little bit. Sink yourself forward. Find your way into a nice kneeling lunge. Squeeze the glutes and see if you can send the left hip down. So rather than sending the right hip down and kind of coming in towards an angle, send the left hip down. Try to open up through that center. See if you can lengthen your spine. Make sure you're keeping that right bum cheek squeezing. And then we're going to take the hands down, tuck the toes, pull the belly in, see if you can send that leg all the way back up. On your exhale, take it down. Sway the hips side to side a little. And then we're going to walk the hands back to the feet. Come halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale to fold. And roll all the way up, lengthen to the ceiling. As you exhale, slide those hips back, finding your chair pose. And inhale to squeeze. Exhale, slide them back. So really try to find that movement, the whole of your femur sliding back. So your knees are coming back. You should be able to see your foot. Pull in through your belly so you're not arching your low back. A few more times here. When you're ready, we're going to come back down into a fold. Lengthen halfway up. Fold it down. Walk your hands all the way out. Finding your way into your plank. Holding here. Shift through chaturanga if you like. Inhaling upward facing dog or cobra. And come back to downward facing. Pedaling the legs Shifting the hips, getting nice and comfortable here in your down dog. We're going to bend everything just a little bit, and you're going to send that left leg up. So when you're ready, bend in a little and send that leg all the way up. I feel like we didn't do that side plank thing on the other side. So let's bring that foot back down and we'll shift forward to plank. So maybe we already did it, but if we didn't, we'll just do it twice. So when you're ready, just like before, you can bend everything a little bit, send that right knee in, step it back, find your side plank, take it back to center. Finding that side plank. Maybe we did do this on both sides. I'll find out when I watch it later. When you're ready, we're going to come back into center, send the hips up, and now we'll take it into that left side. So when you're ready, bend everything a little, spring that left leg up. See if you can bend your hip and open, or bend your knee and open your hips up, send your heel towards the floor. And then we're going to lengthen that leg out. And then maybe you want to kick. So we'll squeeze it in and kick it out. Maybe you want to bring the whole body into it. And bend everything a little as you squeeze that leg in. Straighten everything to kick. Last time here. And then we're going to bring the knee all the way into the chest. Plant that knee down. Turn the foot behind you. Turn your foot. Coming up, finding that gate pose. Slow the breath back down. Reach the arms up. Get really tall. And then as you exhale, take that hand down. Just find your side bend. Try to keep those glutes squeezing forward. Your core is tucking in. Long, slow breaths. Inhale to come back up, hands to your heart center. We're going to do that same thing before. So adjust your right leg as you need to. And we're going to sit down. And then start to squeeze your glutes even before you lift. So you're squeezing, and we really want to use that whole body to lift up. This time as you sink down, hands out in front of you, just find a fold over your body. Slowing the breath back down. When it's good for you, we're going to slowly start to come up, walk your hands towards the right. Adjust your left foot, maybe bring the knee in a little. We're going to find that half split. Squeeze everything in. Maybe you want to point and flex your foot. Slow your breath down. And then we're going to just shift our weight forward, finding that kneeling lunge. So adjust yourself as you need to. Squeeze your left glute and then try to send your right hip down. So we tend to kind of go over to the back leg side. We want to really focus on bringing that right hip forward so the hips are even and you're kind of getting that spreading feeling through that center part of your pelvis. Keep squeezing your bum. And then when you're ready, adjust if you need to. Plant your hands, tuck your back toes. We're going to send that leg all the way back and find downward facing dog. Pedal out here. Relax those heels towards the floor. And then when you're ready for it, we're just going to come down to all fours, kind of sway side to side. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Sit down on your heels. We'll take a deep inhale, lengthening up, and exhale open. So if this feels terrible on the soles of your feet, just go ahead and sit on the tops of your feet rather than onto your heels. Last time here. Reach the arms. As you exhale, come back down, untuck those toes, find whatever you have to stick between your thighs. And we're going to press it in. Squeeze that block. So starting just here, just with that feeling. You can move through cat and cow if you want. Noticing how when you come through this cat pose, you can feel the block squeeze a little bit more. Try to keep that squeezing the whole time. And then we're going to do something kind of weird, so make sure that you pay attention. We're going to come through center, tuck our toes, move your hands forward a little bit. We're going to come up and down through all fours in a downward facing dog, but keep squeezing that block. So set the hips up. Pull your belly in, come back down. Maybe you want to hover. All the way back up. Coming back down, maybe you want to hover. Keep squeezing the block between your thighs. Try to activate that inner thigh line all the way up to your pelvic floor. If it feels good, we'll roll forward to a plank. You can keep with all fours. Really try to roll the body forward, keeping the strength through the whole body, and then bend the knees and send yourself back. So notice how the plank maybe feels a little bit easier as you're squeezing this block because you're engaging the whole body. This time we're going to take it forward, hold here. If it feels okay for you, we're going to just come over onto the side of that right foot, find side plank. Squeeze the hips forward, come through center, find the strength in your legs, over onto the other side. Keep pressing out through the sole of the foot, back through center, over to the other side again. Back through center, other side. Coming back, bend the knees a little bit, send your hips all the way back. Keep squeezing those thighs. We're going to walk the hands back to the feet. Come halfway up, lengthen your spine, squeeze that block. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees a little bit. Keep that bend in the knees as you come up, and then when you get to standing, lengthen, squeeze, reach the arms. Whew. So notice as you squeeze that block between your legs, how it kind of brings that lift all the way up. Pull your belly in, squeeze your glutes. Lengthen here. We're going to come back into that chair pose like we did before. So slide those glutes back. Come back up to center. Really squeeze the booty. Keep squeezing that block, activating the inner core line. We'll do this one more time. We're going to hold down in that chair. Keep squeezing that block. Pull your belly in, really lengthen long, and we're going to twist. You can keep your hand here, you can slide it down. Notice how squeezing that block keeps your knees nice and center. You can bring your hands together, try to lengthen your spine, and maybe you can twist further. We'll come back through center, lengthen all the way up, squeeze the glutes. Same thing again, so sit it back, pull the belly in, get really long. We're going to twist to the other side. You can slide your arm down, lengthen first, and then find that twist. Keep squeezing that block between your legs. Come back through center, lengthen all the way up, reaching. As you exhale, fold down. We're going to remove that block out. Come halfway up, lengthen through your spine. Fold back down. Walk the hands out, finding your downward facing first, and then roll yourself forward into your plank. Bend the knees, send your hips all the way back up. And this time, if it feels good, we're gonna bring the right knee in. So as you roll it forward, bring the knee in, come all the way up, squeeze it, and then if it feels all right, take it back behind you, find Wild Thing. So maybe you can open your chest all the way or just stay in that kind of side plank. Come back to center, reach the leg, shift it forward, taking it in. So hips can stay really high, lengthen it up, bend the knee open, maybe bring it down, maybe Wild Thing. Come back towards center, reach the leg, coming in. Notice how my elbows are bending as I'm moving through the transitions. We'll take one more after this. So back through center, lengthen up, squeeze it in, all the way up. Take that foot behind you, open. Come back through center. And we're gonna step that foot all the way up. Plant your back foot down, walk yourself over a little bit so you can roll yourself up to standing. Adjust your feet and sink down. Finding that warrior two. Hopefully you're sweating as much as me. So we're gonna come to extended side angle. Use your block if you need to. But we're gonna start by bending this back knee a little. Lengthen over, forearm to thigh, and they get really long through this side. Squeeze your glute, press through that back foot. Reaching up. Top arm's gonna circle back. We're gonna bend the knee, come down, reach everything long and strong. Bending that back knee, reaching back up. Press into that front heel. See if you can keep that leg a little bit more stable. Last time here, as you come up this time, we're gonna straighten that front leg just to where you feel the stretch. Your hand can come to your thigh. See if you can tilt your hips a little further. Maybe you can slide down more. If your booty is not squeezing, squeeze it forward. Pull your belly in, everything's really strong. As you're here, maybe you can wave your spine a little bit longer and sink a little bit lower. When it feels good, we're gonna bend everything down again. Take this left hand to the floor. Walk your right hand forward. Bend everything and open up into half moon. And we're gonna do the same thing that we did before, but we're standing. Same thing as we did in extended side angle. So you're gonna bend that back leg, bend the front leg a little, and lengthen back out. Pull the belly in, squeeze this leg up. Bend it all, and kick that leg back out. So it's like you're gathering that strength from the ground to kick it out. And we'll sink down. Open yourself up. Turn the toes to the corner. Find goddess. Sort of shift around here. Whew. Sweating. If it feels good, stick your booty back. Really wave through the spine here. And then when you're ready for it, we're gonna lengthen up, squeeze everything. Turn yourself towards the left side of your mat. Take your hands down. We'll step back to plank. Shift your hips around. We're gonna do the same thing, but on the other side now. So when you're ready, we're gonna shift forward towards a plank, and your left knee is gonna come into your chest. So bend the elbows a little so that when you come forward, you can bring that body by pressing into the floor, bring it away from the ground. So you'll bend a little, shift it forward. Woo. Send it all the way up. Take the foot down behind you. Open yourself up. Close it back down, bend everything a little, send the leg high. Bend everything a little, bring the knee in. Send it high. Open the hips up, drop the foot down, squeeze the glutes, finding Wild Thing, back to center, lengthen, Bend the elbows a little and then straighten them to reach away from the ground. Lengthen up. Bend yourself into Wild Thing. We have one more. Close it off. Lengthen up. Bend the elbows, tuck it in. Lengthen back out. Foot down behind you. Open your chest. And then we'll come back and we'll step that foot up. Plant that right foot down. Open your hips up. Walk your hands over to the side a little because we're going to wave ourselves up, finding your warrior two. It's hard to talk and do all of this. So make sure you're squeezing your glutes. You have your belly pulled in, almost like you're trying to bring your tailbone underneath you. We're going to bend that back knee a little, sink yourself forward, find this length here, and then press into that back leg as you lengthen. And we'll do that same thing we did before. So you're going to bring the top hand back, right knee is bending, and then lengthen it all up again. See if you can connect the breath. So you're exhaling as you come down, inhaling to lengthen up. Keep squeezing both legs. Last time here, as you come up, maybe you can straighten that front leg. Adjust your hand. Get length down the side body. You're trying to open the hips up, open the chest up. If your booty's not squeezing, squeeze it forward. See if you can find length here. Maybe you can just kind of wave your spine a little longer and sink down a little further. Keep trying to squeeze that right bum cheek underneath you, getting really strong through that back leg. When you're ready, we're going to do just like before. So we're going to take this back arm down. We're going to bend everything a little. Right hand's going to come to the floor. Walk your left hand forward and then open up into half moon. And if it feels okay for you, we'll bend everything down and open back up again, kicking. Make sure you have that core squeezing. Keeping your low back nice and safe. We'll do one more. And then gently float that foot down, turn your toes to the corners, finding Goddess. This time, just pressing those knees open. Lengthen yourself back out, turn your toes, bend the knees. We're going to find a forward fold. Once you get there, lengthen everything out. So take that a few times if you need to. You can bend the knees deep, try to send your sitting bones towards the ceiling, and then just lift a little if you need to as you straighten those legs. Try to send your inner thighs back. When you're ready, walk the hands forward a little bit, and then really far forward and find like a really wide downward facing dog. Bending from one leg to the other. And then if it feels good, as you bend into that left leg, press into your right hand. Find a really big twist here. Close it back up, shift to the other side. Find a big twist here. One more time each side. And then close it down to center. We're going to walk our hands over towards the right. Step that right foot back. Come down onto your knees. Send your hips back into a child's pose. Your toes can be tucked if you like, or you can place the tops of the feet on the ground. Slow your breath back down. Reminding yourself of that intention. Sorry I didn't remind you about it before. I'm my own authority. If it feels good, keep those toes tucked under. We're just going to walk ourselves back, finding a crouch. Try to put as much weight into the front as you can so that you can send those heels down towards the ground. Maybe you can lengthen your spine a little bit more along those thighs and then sink back down. When you're ready, gently coming back down, cross at the ankles, shift yourself, find your way to seated. Move the flesh away from your sitting bones. We're going to slide ourselves forward, grab hold of the knees, send your back all the way back. Take the soles of the feet together, let the knees drop out, get really long and tall. See if you can kind of scoot your tailbone back, and then if it feels good, just wave around, or maybe kind of make that wave forward so you're starting to lean and then rolling yourself back up. When you're ready, we're going to take the hands on the outside of the knees, bring those legs together. We're going to find our block, and you're going to take it between your feet, okay? So you can bring it so that it's the skinniest way or the fattest way, or however feels better for you. But we're going to squeeze it there, and we're going to lean back. So you want to press the feet into the block, and we're going to take some boat kind of movements here. So we're going to inhale to come back, keep squeezing that block. Exhale, bring it up, but bring your legs out. So you're really squeezing in and out. Getting that whole inner core line, that deep core line activated. And then we're going to take the hands back. As you come forward, just bring the knees over to the side. Keep squeezing that block so your inner thighs are activating. One more here. And then bring yourself back to center. Soles of the feet together. Move that block out of the way. Sway yourself side to side. When you're ready for it, scoot yourself back if you need more space. We're just going to take that right leg long, left sole of the foot's on the inside of the right thigh. Get really long. I like to use my right hand to kind of press into the floor and lengthen my spine, and we're going to lean forward over that right leg. So just come as far as feels good. Don't get crazy with it. Try to keep that length in your spine so your tailbone's reaching back, belly's pulled in. And then we're going to lift ourselves back up. Turn your chest towards that left leg. So you're turning, get really tall. Use your hand if you need to. We're going to slide out towards that right leg. Keep your chest facing the left leg. So just come as far as you need to. If you need a block to kind of relax that arm onto, you can. See if you can get a little longer. Keep pulling the belly in. I like to use my hand as a little shelf for my head. Keep trying to open your chest so you can bring the left arm behind you if you need to. Try not to arch your low back so you have your belly pulled in. When you're ready, release, kind of roll yourself back up. And then we're going to move to the other side. So I'm just going to turn, you don't have to. Reaching that left leg out, right sole of the foot's on the inside of the thigh. Lengthen up. Just like before, I like to use my hand to press myself really long and then hinge forward, finding your way into that fold. Try Try to send your sitting bones back. Keep pulling up through that core so your low back is safe. When you're ready for it, walk your hands back. Get really nice and tall. We're going to turn our chest towards the right leg. Lengthen up, just like before. You can put your block here so that you have something a little higher to relax the arm on. Keep your chest over as you just slide your way down into the side bend. Chest is opening. Try to reach your ribs towards your foot rather than your head towards your knee. And then maybe you want to just relax into it. Keep pulling the belly in so your spine's long, your back's not arched. Maybe you can bring the right arm back behind you. And then when you're ready for it, just press yourself back up. Rock everything out. We're going to come to laying on the back. We're going to take a couple of rounds of bridge using the block. So make sure you have that with you, or pillow, or whatever you're using. I'm just going to move my hair out of my way. Come on down to your back. Before you do anything, take your hands right onto your thighs. Try to scoot your upper back away and put some traction into that low back. Go ahead and release. If it feels good, take the block between the knees. Hands down onto the floor. Make sure you have space between the back of your neck and the floor so your chin's not tucked into your chest. We're going to start by squeezing the block and pulling the belly in. So you're just starting to tilt your pelvis towards the ceiling. Everything's still on the floor. And then when it feels good, we'll squeeze our way up, finding your way into that bridge. Adjust your feet as you need to. Really press in, squeeze the block. Maybe you can come a little bit higher. Keep pulling the belly in. And then what we're going to do from here is we're just going to release the glutes, and then we're going to squeeze them up again. So releasing them and squeezing them. So maybe, hopefully, this action is getting a little bit of a stretch through that front part of your hip. You're feeling something releasing, at least I am. If you're breathing really deep or coming really high, maybe you'll feel it through the front of the chest as well. Take just a few more here. And then slowly lower back down. We're going to take the block out from between the knees. If you have a book or a block, this is going to feel good. If you have a pillow, you might need a couple more. But we're just going to lift those hips back up. Slide the block right underneath your booty and relax down onto it. Adjust it to where it feels good. So maybe you want to take it long ways so just that center part of your sacrum is on it. Maybe you like to take it wide, but we're just going to relax here. Take a few breaths. Try to let this front part of your hip be nice and soft and relaxed. I can feel tension releasing from right in front of my hip point that I didn't even know was there. So just breathe here for a few minutes. That's not a few minutes, a few seconds, maybe a minute. Adjust your feet as you need to. Try not to bring your legs straight out unless you're just doing one at a time, because it could be a little bit too much on that low back. We'll just take a few more breaths here. And then when you're ready for it, we're just going to press into the feet, slide that block out, lower everything down. Take the knees just above the hips, arms out to the sides, let your knees drop over to the right, finding a nice gentle twist. You can reach the left arm back, looking over it. When it feels good, roll it back to center, bring the knees right above the hips, and drop them over to the other side. And we'll bring everything back to center. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. Maybe you can flex every muscle in your body, really pulling everything in, holding your breath. And then when you need to exhale, release it all out. Lengthen your legs long if it feels good. Maybe letting the toes drop out to the sides. Taking a long, full breath in, maybe holding it. And exhaling everything out. Allowing your breath to drop back into its natural state. Noticing any tension you're holding in your body, try to let it be relaxed. Maybe bringing your mind back to that intention. I'm my own authority. And then you can start to bring some slow movement back into your body, just wiggling fingers and toes. Maybe reaching the arms up above your head. Full, long breath. As you exhale, just gently bend one knee at a time. Gently roll over onto one side. Pause there for a minute. Just letting your body absorb all the benefits of your practice. You can begin to blink your eyes open. Just adjusting to the light in the room. And then when you're ready for it, slowly press yourself up. Finding your way to a nice, easy seat. Rolling the shoulders back, get nice and long. Take a deep inhale in, reach your chest forward, your chin up. As you exhale, just pull that back towards the back of the room. Let your chin drop down. We'll do one more like that. So just inhale up. As you exhale. Inhale, lengthen the arms up over the head. Reach really long. bring your palms together and bring them down to your heart center, taking a moment to give gratitude to your body. Bring your mind back to that intention. I am my own authority. I challenge you to bring it off of your mat into your day. And thank you so much for practicing with me. May the light within me reach out and touch the light within all of you. Please let me know if you liked this, if you'd like to have more classes like this one, or if there's something else that you'd like to do. And if you are one of my in-person yogis and you got in on Saturday's class, I will see you then. Otherwise, I'll see you all another time. Bye.